Good morning. I'm going to be talking now about design of the button for the gentleman in Europe named, we'll call him Ras, R-A-S. And so I'm going to just kind of share with you my thinking about design and where I think I might want to go. Of course, this is a Suzuki bass harp. That's a fat, large harp. And so it shouldn't be a little thing. It should be, the button should be a little bigger, I think. This is a, okay. Now, this ERGO button here, of course, it has curvature on the outside, which you very much want. This section in here is more looks. I mean, it can be a lot of different shapes, but that's a very, very straightforward angled side. This was the second prototype type of ERGO button. I will draw what the first one looked like. This was the approximate shape of the first one. Kind of bulbous. I call those bulbous. And this would be somewhat similar to it. This is my Gregor Mare. So you see that the sides come in a little bit. The outside, of course, being that same nice shape. And they are sprayed with polyurethane clear coat so that they don't, there's no metal touching the player's hand. They're aluminum. Why? Because you want low weight. It's like a race car wheel. It's alloy. You want lightweight, and they'll move faster. Does it change the speed? Yes, it does. And it changes how it feels. Of course, we'll be taking the stock button off of the Suzuki bass harp. There's a method to do that where you don't damage the slide. Basically, you put a wooden splint on both sides and whack it off. And then when you work the slide, you always keep it in the splints so that you don't damage it. But let's just talk about designs, okay? This is the, we'll call that an angular type. It's a rounded on the top and has straight sides. We could do that. One time I made a button that was a monster button. It was called the Bumblebee. And it was like, oh, it was hilarious. It was like, it looked like a bumblebee. It was like, it was big and it had little black lines in it that I dug with the tools on the lathe, and then I filled them in with black paint. So it had stripes, like, stripes. It was a bumblebee. And I had it on a Hohner Super 64, one of those old ones that was gold and black back when they were really a good harp. And somebody that knew me said, I gotta have that button. I gotta have that harp. So they bought that from me. I really liked that button. It was different. So, I mean, you could put a line, I'm not, but I want to talk for a second about what is my philosophy to design. Okay, very simple concept. Form follows function. That the optimal design, in my opinion, is the design which does the function. Not too ornate, but it works. Now, the nice part about this one is it does have a little curvature, and I kind of like that, but I'm also very, very partial to that one. And there are no templates. I don't have any templates for the lathe. I mean, I could make a template system where I like they use those with key duplicators, you know, and I could duplicate a shape. I don't care about that. Each one is custom made. So I'd say my design rule is form will follow function. I know that I want the button to be a little larger than some of the ones that I've done because it's a large harp. And of course, another important point is, you know, people might say, well, did you do these buttons just because they look better? No, the button doesn't have any sharp edges, you know, like a Suzuki button and a Hohner button. They have an edge. That's a 90-degree edge to your finger. You play that all the time and it bothers you. This is called ERGO because it's comfy to the hand at all angles of activation. Ergonomics. It's legitimate from that perspective. But where I was headed is that not only do they have a fun custom shake, but because they stick out farther, I don't know, like how much? Well, that much further. So it gets the button away from your face so you're not slapping your face when you play. It's an issue with that Grigor Mare, but a much larger issue with a little teeny harp like this. What am I gonna do? Smack with a normal button? It's right up against your face. You gonna slap your face while you're using your button? Give me a break. So, you know, I take and I bring them out so that ergonomically it's farther away and so I can activate and just lightly touch or not touch at all on most of the notes, you know. So is that a major thing? Well, sure it is. Sure it is, because that's what you're feeling when you're playing. But so my rules on this one are form will follow function. I will cut it with you there. We're going to cut it together on the lathe in real time. And the final decisions will be made while it's being shaped. And whether I want a little bit of curvature to the side, or whether I want it straight or a little, you know, like bulbous kind of, I don't know. I'm not going to do another bumblebee. I'm not doing that. And I'm not really into those lines because I never liked the way it turned out, really. They were never perfect. I don't know. I think it's because there was a line in the metal down there, even though you don't touch it. Like what I'm saying is if it has a decorative stripe down here, you're not going to feel that. I mean, you only touch the outer part. So anyway, form's going to follow function. It's going to be a little bigger. It might lean this way. It might lean this way. Whatever strikes me. Well, but working with that lathe is really a trip. I mean, that thing can do stuff that it applies tremendous force to a little teeny area and it peels that metal like you peel an orange. And I'll tell you what, it is a blast. It's so fun to shape metal with that. What I really want is a mill. Because if I had a mill, I could cut metal flat and I could make those resonant covers easy. This hand working on making those resonant covers is going to kill me. Anyway, that's the scoop. Button talk. Stay tuned as we continue the customization of the Ras Harp.